and welcome to the first ever episode of the Mission Kind podcast. My name is Dana Lucy, and I am your host. For today's episode of the Mission Kind podcast, I got the wonderful opportunity to interview Olivia Acevedo. Olivia was the Miss California Sweetheart 2024 and represented California at the National Sweetheart pageant. She spreads kindness through her community service initiative that she continues to advocate for, Stronger Than Juvenile Arthritis. Since she was diagnosed with it as a child and went through challenges that she overcame, she would like to spread awareness that having a disease doesn't mean that you can't follow your dreams. Please welcome Olivia to the Mission Kind podcast. Hi, Olivia. Welcome to the Mission Kind podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Please tell the audience about yourself.
I'm Olivia Acevedo. I was Miss California Sweetheart 2024. So I represented California at the National Sweetheart pageant in Houston, Illinois. I placed top 10. I was a top 10 finalist. I won the State Costume Award and received the Executive Director's Award. So I had a blast representing California there. I'm currently an ICE crew member for the LA Kings organization, their AHL affiliate, the Ontario Reign. And I work with executives, consulting them during times where they or their companies go through transformations, transactions, or transitions. And I work closely with the Arthritis Foundation.
Since you do pageants, you have a community service initiative, and that is really interesting. So please tell us more about it and what makes it special to you.
My community service initiative is Stronger Than Juvenile Arthritis. It stems from my personal experience with juvenile arthritis. I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis at the age of 8, and a lot of people may not know that kids can get arthritis too, but it's the same arthritis that your grandparents may have. It causes joint pain and stiffness. It can cause abnormalities. It disrupts your daily life, your school, your sports regimen. And it was a really isolating and hard time. Imagine being a kid not being able to play on the monkey bars because your joints were hurting and nobody else could understand that. It's not something that a lot of people know, so it's a cause that's very close and dear to my heart.
That is so inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing. Next up, I was wondering if you have any upcoming projects related to your community service initiative.
Yes, past December, we wrapped up the Jingle Bell Run, which is the largest 5K fundraiser for the Arthritis Foundation.
Wow.
I've been a board member of that committee for the past 3 years. This past year, I was the entertainment chair, so I was responsible for getting all the entertainment to our 5K at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, and it was a great success. Okay. So we just wrapped up that, and this summer we have our JA camps. So this is a camp that I went to as a child where I got to meet other children who had juvenile arthritis or lupus, and I got to connect with them. So I'm excited to be going back as a counselor and showing these children that your life isn't over just because you have arthritis. You still can do everything you wanted to do. I remember when I was first told I had arthritis, I was uncertain of what my future would look like because I still wanted to be on the cheerleading team and be on the marching band, and I felt like I wasn't able to do that anymore. So I'm excited to share with these children that you can still do anything you want in life and to just visualize the life you want and to pursue it fearlessly.
I'm so excited for you, and thank you so much for all that you do for the community. Pageants emphasize grace and confidence, and that is what you gain amongst other things, but where does kindness fit into that?
I think kindness is the foundation of grace and confidence. In order for grace and confidence to shine through, you need kindness, and you really can't have one without the other, so I think that's where it fits in.
That was so well said. How are the competitive sides of pageants balanced with being kind to your fellow contestants?
Well, I don't think being competitive means putting other people down. They don't correlate. So in pageantry, you're competing against yourself. Miss America opportunity is an opportunity to better yourself, to become the person you want to be, the woman, the leader you want to be, and you don't need to put others down in order to do that.
That is so true. And following on that question, do you believe that kindness is promoted in the pageant community?
I do. One my favorite memories in pageantry is not winning the crown. It's the memories I have with my sisters. And sisterhood is the foundation of the Miss America organization. And my favorite memories are with them. I remember at the National Sweetheart pageant, my roommate, Miss Montana's sweetheart, Donna, and I became so close, and she was so kind and friendly and warm, and she was so kind enough to trust me to cut her bangs the night before preliminary competition.
Wow.
And it was just so kind of her. I'm not a hairstylist at all. But we just had such a great friendship that she trusted me to do that for her, and I thought she looked great. So those are my favorite memories, just being with my sisters, the kindness, and the camaraderie.
That is definitely an interesting pageant story, and I think that it is the small things like that which truly shape kindness in the pageant community. Besides being scored on factors such as evening gown, interview, and talent in a pageant, how do you think kindness increases your chances of winning?
I think the judges are looking for a very warm and kind title holder. And you can't fake it. I mean, if you're a kind person, it'll shine through. It'll shine through every phase of competition. It'll especially shine through in your interview. So I think just being genuinely kind and happy for each other and just happy to be there and happy to have this opportunity, I think that's what the judges see, and that's how they select their title holder.
So you're competing for a pageant this month, right?
Yes.
If you take home the title, how do you plan to spread kindness and make a positive impact through your platform?
One of the things I remember when I was first diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, nobody in my family knew that kids could get arthritis. I didn't know any other kids with it, so it was a scary time, and I didn't tell anybody at school either that I had it. So I was struggling silently, and I was having a hard time keeping up with the other kids. I remember being bullied for not being as athletic as I could be because my joints were hurting, not being able to participate in PE. I had to have accommodations in physical education classes. I couldn't do a push-up on the floor. I had to do it on the wall. I was always picked last in dodgeball. I was picked on for something that people couldn't see on the outside, because when you see a child with arthritis, for the most part, they look very normal. But on the inside, they're hurting a lot. And it was something the other kids couldn't see in school, and it was something I was picked on for, and it was something that I couldn't control. So one of my biggest things that I want to promote as with my next title is kindness, because you really never know what people are going through. None of those kids knew that I had juvenile arthritis and that my joints were hurting. And yet I was bullied for it. So that is one of my biggest messages, just sharing. You never really know what other people are going through, and to just have empathy and compassion.
That is so important. I really appreciate you sharing that. Outside of pageants, how do you practice kindness in your life?
A lot of awareness, a lot of reminding myself, if someone honks at me or yells at me, just reminding myself, you don't know if they're having a bad day. So just being aware, taking a step back, not taking things too personal, just kind of reminding myself when I was a kid and I was grumpy because my joints were hurting that day, or it took me an extra hour to get ready for school that day and I was late and I'm having a bad day. Just reminding myself of situations where I could have been grumpy or not as kind, and giving other people grace.
How do you encourage people to keep being kind even when they feel like the world isn't always being kind to them?
You have to give grace. The same way if you were grumpy and you lashed out and you wish other people would give you grace, or they did give you grace, you have to reciprocate that back.
Last but not least, if you could challenge our listeners to do one kind thing today, what would it be?
I want you all to write a thank you note to somebody who has shown you grace or has been very kind to you. Thank you notes are so special, and every time I receive one, it changes my whole day around in the best way possible. So I want all of you to write a thank you note today to somebody that you love and appreciate.
I'm definitely going to write a thank you note after this. Thank you for being on the Mission Kind podcast, Olivia. Thank you for listening to the Mission Kind podcast. Join us next Monday for another amazing episode. Have a great day, and don't forget to be kind today and always.